Hello and welcome to the Maps 101 training webinar for Georgia subscribers focusing on grades 3 through 5. My name is Terry Keramaris. I am the Customer Account Specialist and Trainer here at Maps 101, and I'd like to thank you for spending the next 45 minutes to highlight the breadth and depth of Maps 101. My goal today is to provide you with a solid overview of the broad and in-depth content that's available to you in Maps 101 and how to navigate through the material at your fingertips. We will structure our training by first going over the 4 easy ways to find content on the Maps 101 online resource. Then we're going to take a quick look at the sections making up Maps 101. Those are here on the left side. We'll highlight some of the key features of each area. At the end of our training, we'll come back to our home page and I'll show you a way that you can continue to learn more on your own. So let's go ahead and get started with the first easy way to find content on Maps 101, and that is to simply browse by subject. In the green box, you can choose from one of 5 subjects. I'm going to click on History, and I can choose from U.S. or World History. We'll click on U.S. History, and what you see here is a quick grouping of materials by subject. You'll see we have some Geography News Network articles, some Geography skill builders. Please note the lesson plans aimed at the different grade levels. Scrolling down, you'll see National Geographic video content on U.S. history and a host of state thematic maps, different atlases, and U.S. history maps. Again, I'd like to emphasize that what you see here does not represent everything within a category. For example, we have over 550 National Geographic video shorts. Those are from 1 to 9 minutes in length. The ones you see here have to do with U.S. history. So now I'd like to go back to the Maps 101 homepage from anywhere on the resource. You can do so by clicking on the green and white logo in the upper left-hand corner, and that'll take you back to the home page. The second easy way to search for content on Maps 101 is to do a keyword search. Right on top of the Browse by Subject box, you can enter a keyword. Perhaps if we are studying the Civil War, we might want to search for a video to show in the classroom when talking about the subject. So in the search box, I'm going to type in a broad search to return the most results. I'll type in Civil War, and we'll go ahead and click Search. And what you see is a page come up showing us 220 results returned, and those results are broken down here into the green tabs, which you will note correspond to those content sections I mentioned earlier listed on the left side. Now we know that we'll find National Geographic video content, so let's go ahead and click that green tab. Right here we have 4 National Geographic videos. We can search for the best video to show in the classroom. So searching by keyword is the second way to search for content on Maps 101. The third way to search for content on Maps 101 is located at the bottom of the home page, and that is to search by location. We do so using the Earth View search, which has incorporated Microsoft Bing satellite imagery into our search engine, and that allows you to search for content by location. Let's use the same example, videos of the Civil War. And so in our search box here, again, we'll type in that broad search term, Civil War, click Go, and depending on your browser, you're either going to open up a new tab or a new window, and you'll see here the box showing us those 220 results. Please note that we are seeing a map where we're right over a location where the Civil War took place. So again, we're looking for some videos here. We have 4 National Geographic video titles. I can go ahead and click title here, Reconstruction. You'll see a new window open up, and we have a couple of options here. We see a thumbnail of the video of Reconstruction. I can click to go to this resource. That will open up a new window where we can take a look at the map. Or on the right side, I'm going to go ahead and click Save this link. So here, this link is saved for me to go back and take a look at later on. I might be interested in also what happened right before the Reconstruction. Let me save this link. So now I have a couple of videos. I can take a look at each one and decide which one I want to use in my lesson. At the end of my session, I want to click Clear to remove the list of videos. That way, either myself or the next user will have a fresh, clean slate to start with, and we'll go ahead and close out of this section of Earth View. So again, you can type a location in the search box and filter through the results. But you can also use Earth View another great way, and you can go ahead and type a location into the search box. Let's go ahead and take a look at Mount Rushmore and click Go. And again, we'll see our new tab open up. You'll see that we're right over here in the Great Plains. We have 2 results for Mount Rushmore in the box, but I'm actually going to go ahead and close that out because what I want to do is use my controls in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to start drilling down, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at Mount Rushmore from a different point of view than we normally see. And the Earth view is a great complement to our static community maps. Of course, you can get down to ground level, but you can also take a look at different landforms, neighborhoods, and communities. So here we are at Mount Rushmore, and let's go ahead back here and drill down. So it's kind of a neat way to take a look at the monument. Here we go. Here's the memorial right here. So here, normally we see from the point of view of the front, which is right here, but we're looking at it from a bird's eye view. So kind of a great way to use Earth view in your classrooms. I hope that you will find a creative and different ways to use the Earth view search. And finally, the 4th way to search for content on Maps 101 is to search either by your state or Common Core standard. And I will show you an example of how to search for content both ways. Let's begin with the Georgia State Standards. Click on the State Standards box, and from the drop-down box, choose Georgia. And then we're going to go ahead and choose a grade level. We're going to go to 4th grade today, U.S. History to 1860. Choose that grade level and click Go. And what you'll see here is a list of the standard codes, the strands, the descriptions, and then the Maps 101 correlation. So we're going to scroll down here to 4H6, Historical Understandings. The student will explain westward expansion of America between 1801 and 1861. Click to see the Maps 101 results. And you see we have 3 lesson plans here that have to do with this standard code. The one that I would like to focus on is called Native American Land Laws. And so we see here that it is for a lesson plan aimed at grade levels 3 through 5. It is ranked excellent for the standard code. You can actually click the expectation level to take a closer look. You'll note that any cross-curricular applications are given here for you at the bottom. Click the blue hyperlink to go right into the lesson plan. And you can see here that all of our lesson plans in Maps 101 are set up in the same fashion. We start with the introduction. You've got the time frame. You're given the objectives for the lesson, followed by the National Social Studies and Geography standards. Scrolling down, you're provided with links to maps and materials that you'll need for the lesson. The procedure is outlined for you. There are assessment suggestions, and many of our lessons also include a handout for students to answer questions about the lesson. You can click the green icon in the upper right corner to download or print the lesson plan. So now we'll go back to Common Core, and we'll show you how to search for content using the Common Core standards, and this is a new section for us, as you can see here. First of all, I'd like to point out that we do have, we are adding lesson plans for the Common Core correlations. You can take a look at the lesson plan here, Geography of Ancient Civilizations, contrasting and comparing Mesopotamia and Egypt. And you can also search for Common Core correlations by grade level. So let's go to 5th grade right now and click Go. And when you choose the Common Core correlations, you'll see that in the beginning we've listed all of the general ones, so you'll have to kind of scroll down to get to the specific ones for the grade levels. And so this does have a lot of sections in it. Keep scrolling down until you find what you want. We're going to go ahead and look at 5.10, which is informational text. So let's go back here. By the end of the year, read and comprehend informational text, including history, social studies, etc. Click to see the results. And I'll just show you here that we do have several of our Understanding Geography activities, a couple of lesson plans that have to do with this Common Core correlation. So again, I'd like to remind you that the 4 ways to search for content on Maps 101 are to browse by subject, to search by keyword, to search by location, or by state or Common Core standards. And I do like to spend a few minutes going over how to do a search on Maps 101. You know, we have about 7,000 total pieces of information on the resource maps. videos, lesson plans, and other content, it's really impossible to know everything contained within Maps 101. However, if you know how to search, you can find just about anything that you're looking for. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sections making up the Maps 101 resource, and those are National Geographic, Map Collections, Interactive Maps, Spanish Language, Reference Atlas, Global Perspectives, K-3 Maps, Classroom Resources, and finally, Learn and Play. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. We'll begin with National Geographic, and we're excited about the Digital Content Alliance that we formed a few years ago with the National Geographic Society, and we now offer our teachers and students access to even more outline maps. We have about 1,000 total. In addition, we offer you the National Geographic Magazine Map Archive, Earth Pulse, and over 500 National Geographic video shorts from 1 to 9 minutes in length. So you can see that you're actually getting the benefits of 2 resources with the National Geographic content included in your Maps 101 subscription. We'll begin with the National Geographic Magazine Map Archive. I'm sure you're all familiar with the poster-sized pull-out maps you occasionally get included in that yellow border magazine. Well, we've got over 100 years worth of those maps archived for you dating back to 1891. As far as we know, there's no other place to find these maps digitized, so they are unique to Maps 101. And we've arranged the maps a couple of ways for you. On the left side, you can search for a map by date. On the right side, the same maps are categorized by area. So let's go ahead and click on USA. You'll see here in alphabetical order a list of all maps pertaining to the United States from all different times. I'd like to show you a map called Territorial Growth of the United States. Scroll down to the bottom of the page to read more information about the map, and click the green button that says Zoom to open up a new window, which I'll expand for you, and that will allow you, using your controls, to zoom in at a very high resolution. So this is a great map to show when you're studying the growth of the United States. We have an old map here showing the original colonies. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And then you can see the growth of the U.S. across the continent of North America, starting with European explorers, moving on to westward expansion, going all the way to the Pacific Ocean, and then finally today to the 50 states and a broader view. So a great map to use in your classrooms. I do want to encourage you to explore the National Geographic Magazine Map Archive. We've got hundreds of maps from all over the world, different types of maps, and they're all very, very interesting. We'll go back to the National Geographic section, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the National Geographic videos next. I mentioned there's over 500 of them, and they're from 1 to 9 minutes in length. And there's a couple of ways to search for video content as well. The first way is just to click a location on the map, and you can actually zoom into a specific location to search for video content. Alternatively, you can go down to the bottom to scroll through the list of titles. I think it's a little bit easier for folks to search in one of the 5 categories, and those are civilizations and history, culture and society, science and nature, wildlife, and videos in Spanish language. Earlier we used the example of searching for a video of the Civil War. Let's go ahead and search here in the video section for a video of the Civil War to show in the classroom, maybe about Reconstruction as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Civilizations and History. You'll see the default view come up. That's Thumbnails by Alpha. You can choose to scroll through the list of pages to view thumbnails if you prefer. On the right side, you can click to view the titles as text. And as I look through the list of videos, here's one called Reconstruction. We'll go ahead and play a little bit of that video to show you how these are set up. As the video comes up, you'll see that the running time is 4 minutes. I've gone ahead and muted the sound on this video. The Google Locator map shows us where in the world is this video. Here's a description about civil rights for African Americans after the Civil War, from Reconstruction to Brown versus Board of Education, desegregation, passage of the Civil Rights, and the Voting Rights Amendment. You can take your mouse and put the video in full screen mode, show that on the smartboard in your classroom, and then either press the escape key on your computer's keyboard or with your mouse restore it back to the default view. Scrolling down the page, you'll see a list of related maps, videos, and lessons that accompany the video that's currently playing. And now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the end of the video. We'll see our Maps 101 Fast Facts Did you know that 80% of black office holders during Reconstruction were literate? And the next fact tells us that Mississippi didn't formally ratify the 13th Amendment until 1995. And then we can learn about disease during the Civil War. So you can see that the combination of the text, the visuals, the sound, the locator maps, and the fast facts create a wonderful environment for your students to develop their independent learning skills. Very quickly, I do want to show you in the National Geographic section the 9th edition atlas. This atlas has current physical, political maps of all areas of the world, different regions, even the Milky Way and the solar system here. Let's take a quick look at a physical map of North America. And I won't zoomify this one, but you can see that this is a National Geographic map of North America. We'll move on next to the map collections, which is really the heart and soul of Maps 101. Our parent company is Maps.com. We're a cartography company. We actually make the maps that you see here in Maps 101. We have thousands of maps for you. Our broad range of maps includes antique maps, history maps, outline maps, atlases, thematic maps, and many, many more. I'd like to go to the outline maps, and I mentioned we have about 1,000 total, so they're frequently accessed throughout all the grade levels. And in this section, I'm going to show you how to work with a map, how to print it, email it, download it to your computer, and even further customize a map. So I've chosen an outline map of the U.S. with shaded relief. I have a couple of maps here. One has text, one is without text. I'm going to click on the map with text. We'll take a look at it in a new tab, and I decide I want to work with this map. Now here's what I can do. I can click the PDF icon to print a PDF of the map to hand out to the students they can work on either in the classroom or from home. Obviously, all of our PDFs are pre-formatted to print on 8.5 by 11 paper. I can click to email the map. It says to a teacher at your school, but really it can be to any Maps 101 user. They will need to have the login information that your school will provide to you, the username and password, in order to access the map. You can click to download the image to your computer, and that way you can put it in a PowerPoint or embed it in your lesson. Your license to Maps 101 allows you to store the image on your machine throughout the duration of your subscription. So if you have a map that you frequently use, go ahead and keep it at your fingertips. You don't need to get online to pull up the map. And then finally, let's take a look at the Map Sketch tool. This is a way to further customize any of the maps you see in the map collections. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it before I demonstrate it for you. Map Sketch is a tool that allows the user to add text, icons, shapes, and a range of colors to engage students and reinforce lessons. Once the lesson is completed, the user has the option to print it, save it, email the image, or download it as a file that can be used in presentations or other documents. So I'll go ahead and tell you right now that your students are way better at this than me, but I think you'll get the basic idea of how to work with Map Sketch. So I'm going to choose my favorite color here, which is red, and I'm going to choose a star. You know, I live here in Southern California, and I'm going to choose another color now. And I'm excited about my vacation coming up next month. Because I'm going to go ahead and visit Grandma. Grandma moved to Florida, and we're going to take an airplane there. And this is the route my airplane is going to take. And we're going to have a lot of fun in Florida because it's always sunny in Florida. But you know what else they have in Florida? They've got some pretty big bugs over there. So we'll put some bugs here. We'll go ahead and start our map key. And then let's go back and start with the sun. We'll go ahead and fill that in later. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a title, My Vacation Map. And finally, my teacher has told me to draw a circle around the country, my country, so here we are, the United States. So of course this is a pretty basic map, but I think you can get the idea of how your students can take what they learn in the classroom, work with these maps, add their own touches. Teachers, you'll be able to assess how they're learning, what they're learning, do they need a little bit of extra help. So we've gotten a lot of great feedback from teachers and students about the Map Sketch tool. A couple quick points about Map Sketch. It's fully compatible with iPads and other tablet devices, and also Map Sketch does require one of the latest browsers. If you open up Map Sketch and you do not see your particular map here, it means you need to update your browser. If you have an older computer, you can use the Google Chrome browser as I've used here, and that will allow you to work with Map Sketch. And so getting back to our maps, if you see that a map is used in a lesson, you'll be provided with links to the lessons underneath the map. This particular map is used in 3 lessons at 3 different grade levels. We've got over 200 lessons and activities here in our classroom resources for you. So now we know what we can do with a map. We're going to go back to the map collections and take a quick look at some of the maps available to you in Maps 101. We've got lots and lots of history maps for you. You'll see that we have broken out our maps by U.S., Canadian, and world history. We also have presidential election maps, and you can compare up to 2 elections here with a comparison map. Let's start with our U.S. history maps. You'll see that they're arranged chronologically, starting with the colonial revolutionary times. Here's the first presidential election map in 1789. Scrolling down the list of maps, you'll see basically a history of the U.S. from the War of 1812, the Texas Revolution, westward expansion to the Civil War, Reconstruction, the 2 world wars with the Depression in between, all the way to the current post-Cold War era, just to quickly go through U.S. history. We'll take a look at a map showing European exploration of North America, and that map is around 1000 to 1682 A.D. And so here you'll see the routes, voyages, and details of the different explorers, their countries of sponsorship, and you can zoomify that map. I won't do that at this time. We also have world history maps that are arranged chronologically, starting with our ancient societies and civilizations, going on to the Age of Exploration, the Renaissance, Napoleon, to the 2 world wars, and all the way to the current post-Cold War era. Let's take a look at a map. Speaking of exploration, we've got a great map showing exploration and empires around 1400. So let's find that map here for you. Great map showing the different colonies, their countries of sponsorship, the different voyages and details of the explorers. And Maps 101 is not just for history and geography. We've got a great list of earth science maps for you. These maps show physical and environmental data. Let's take a look at a map of biomes of the world. Great map showing the oceans, wetlands, and different biomes in the U.S. Another great source of maps are the thematic maps, and of course these maps display different types of data. It can be historical, cultural, or social. We'll take a look at the state thematic maps. We have them for every state, including your own in Georgia. And so let's go ahead and take a look at a historical map showing the Civil War, Sherman's March, and other aspects of the Civil War in the state of Georgia. We'll move on to our interactive maps, and these maps feature visual movement and sound effects to engage students and bring historical events to life. Let's focus on our animated history maps, again separated by U.S. and world history. In our U.S. history maps, they are arranged chronologically. We'll take a look at an interactive map of the Louisiana Purchase. We can click to see the Louisiana Territory. We can note the green arrows show Lewis and Clark's journeys. The black arrows show Pike's journeys. To clear the map, click on the same buttons and it will be restored back to the default view. We've also got world history maps arranged chronologically. And let's take a look at a map of the African slave trade routes. We can take a look to see the slave coast of Africa, the gold coast of Africa, Africa's Ivory Coast, where the major slave gathering areas in Africa were, where the slaves ended up in the New World, and finally the details and locations of the slave trading forts and the routes of the traders. And again, you would click the same buttons to restore the map back to the default view. We'll move on to our Spanish language section. We've got a section dedicated to Spanish language added because of requests from our subscribers. And so we'll take a quick look at each section here. We've got some pretty basic maps in Spanish language. In the Continentes del Mundo, you'll note the correct spelling, accenture, and of course location of these places on the map. We also offer translations of our Geography Skill Builders lessons. We're going to take a closer look at that when we get to the Classroom Resources section. Also, the Geography in the News, current event articles, and the translations of the Geography News Network articles are found here in Global Perspectives. We'll go ahead and take a look at those in just a few minutes. We do have beginning and advanced Spanish language glossaries. Here's the grade level 2 through 3 glossary where you see the term in Spanish. In English, the definition is given to you. In Spanish, you can also click to go to the English language version at the top of the page. Please note we've got a selection of National Geographic videos in Spanish language. So this is great for ELL learners, also for beginning language arts to increase their auditory comprehension. We do have Spanish language K through 3 maps. Those are also available in our K through 3 section. We'll just take a quick look here at them in the K through 3 Spanish section. Here's a map showing mi casa, my house. You can see mom and dad's room, my room. Here's the kitchen table. You know, it's fun. We can work with Map Sketch here using this map. And so let's go ahead and set the kitchen table using our Map Sketch tools. So now we're all ready to have lunch. So I hope you'll check out the Spanish language K through 3 maps and let your colleagues know about those. We'll move on next to the Reference Atlas, and at Maps 101 we offer you an extensive and up-to-date U.S. and world reference atlas with a variety of tools. Each country and state offers you access to a political map, a physical map, a flag, and an extensive collection of statistics. I've chosen the United States from the World Atlas. You can go and click on a specific state to drill down. We're just going to go ahead today and take a look at the United States as a country in general. So our political map shows us a pretty basic map of the USA. We can click the next link to show a physical map. We can click the next link to show us our flag, Old Glory. And then finally, let's take a look at some statistics for the U.S. You'll note that they begin with introduction, go to geography, people, government, economy, all the way to military and transnational issues. And you can scroll down and read thumbnail information or click the link to go more in depth. In addition to the statistics on different countries and states, we offer you some wonderful features in the Reference Atlas I'd like to point out. One of them is the Guide to Country Comparisons. And so we've taken countries and listed them in rank order pertaining to topics such as geography, people and society, economy, energy, and down to transportation and military. And an example of how you might want to use this in your classroom, you might be talking about populations, how many people live in your town, in your state, in your country, maybe talking about populations of different countries, which country has the most people in the world, and which country has the least amount of people in the world. Well, it's very easy to find that information out. You'll open up your Maps 101 Reference Atlas, go to the Guide to Country Comparisons, and simply click on Population. You'll see that as of July 2013, China was ranked #1 with 1.3 billion people, and then you can scroll down to the bottom of the page and see that Pitcairn Islands has a population of 48, and you can talk to your class and say there's a country where all of its people can fit in our library, maybe in the cafeteria, and then there's another country that has 1.3 billion people and what that number actually means. So a great way to use the Maps 101 Reference Atlas in the classroom. Please also note we have a list of appendices with scientific and geographic data that I hope you'll check out on your own. We're going to move on next to the Global Perspective section, and this section is where your students can learn about world events from a geographic perspective. This section is chock full of content, and so I first want to point out our content collections. I'll use Black History Month in February that's celebrated in the U.S. as an example. And so we have collected for you content, National Geographic videos that have to do with Black History Month, Black History Month locations of significance, activities for the classroom, current event articles, and maps significant to Black History Month. So that's in February. That's followed in March by Women's History Month, and you can explore the Maps 101 Women's History Month content collection. The next month, April, is Earth Month, and we do have our Earth Day content collection here. And then in the fall, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, September and October, so please check out that content collection as well. So I hope that you'll use these in your classrooms and let your colleagues know. I'd like to focus in on a couple of sections here in the Global Perspectives section. The first one is Geography News Network. And Geography News Network is a series of articles written on a weekly and monthly basis. They're written at the newspaper level, so for the younger learner, they may be useful as a resource for the teacher to use in the classroom. Some of your students may be able to read these quite comfortably. We have a team of geographers across the country that write weekly and monthly articles for us. They're from a variety of topics and perspectives. We'll go ahead and take a look at an article called Landslide Detection. And so we have an article called Major Landslides Since 1990. We have a custom graphic here. We've got the article. Please note we have questions for extended learning. This allows for discussion and rigor in the classroom. And then you'll note that we cite sources and the Common Core strands that correlate to this article. I mentioned that we can get the article in Spanish. It's really easy to do that. Click the Spanish language version. You'll get the graphic, the article, the questions, and the Common Core standards listed here for you. We do have quite a few articles here in the Geography News Network. There are 6 authors that write weekly and monthly articles for us. You can look through the archives and scroll through or do a search for a different subject area. In addition, we have also started podcasting some of our articles. So I wanted to show you that if you go to the Maps 101 blog, which is maps101blog.com, you can see the different podcasts articles, and with those come out. We don't do every article, but most of them are available as a podcast. The Maps 101 blog also features other content not available on Maps 101, including lesson plans, and different types of other articles that you might find useful in your classroom. So I hope you'll check that out. Getting back to the Global Perspective section, I do want to point out our archived Geography in the News articles. Dr. Neil Lineback wrote over 650 articles for us before his retirement earlier this year. So please search the archives. We might want to just do a search. Let's do on United States just for an example. And so I've searched the archives. We have here at least 10 pages of articles referencing the United States. These are also available in Spanish and have questions for extended learning. So please check those out on your own. And finally, I'd like to show you my favorite section of Maps 101 here in Global Perspectives. This is the Map of the Week. This comes out every Monday. Our geographic artist, Scott Davis, brings you a new map citing current and historical events to the lay of the land. And so the current map is called Toys, Total Doll and Stuffed Toy Manufacturers by State. So we learned that in California, they had the most doll and stuffed toy manufacturers during 2011. How many doll and stuffed toy manufacturers were in your state? So some of these maps are kind of fun. I think it's a great way to start your week on a Monday morning. Open up a map of the week. The questions are open-ended, providing for discussion in the classroom. Sometimes the maps can be fun. Sometimes they can be serious. However, if you can search the archives as well for a keyword or chronologically. If you enjoy the map, you have fun learning, you remember what you learn, and you want to learn more. So I always like to show the map of the week in our demonstrations here. We'll move on next to the K through 3 map section, an entire section designed and dedicated to the early learner, providing simplified visuals to support subjects that can often be complex for our young learners. And so the sections making up K through 3 are beginner maps, the Earth, world maps, U.S. maps, and the Spanish language K through 3 maps, which we took a look at earlier in our Spanish language section. We'll start with the beginner maps, and in this section we've introduced our first series of animated maps with Uncle Sam's Farm. These maps all feature audio, and they help students learn beginning farm vocabulary in the starter version, map gridding, and introduction to cardinal directions, and we'll play a little bit of the cardinal directions game for you right now.
Uncle Sam's Farm. Welcome to Uncle Sam's Farm, Cardinal Direction Map version. Sam wants you to get to know his farm. Look at Sam's tractor dashboard to learn about north, south, east, and west directions. Have fun!
Okay, let's play the game.
What is the direction from the chickens to the pig pen.
So before we answer the question, let's take a look at our dashboard here. You'll notice that we have a toggle switch where we can toggle the cardinal directions on or off. We have our fuel gauge, and as we answer questions, we burn up fuel. You'll note the compass rose. Lots of clucking and mooing as you hover your mouse over the farm. And now let's answer the question. What is the directions from the chickens to the pig pen? I'm going to say it's north.
Yes, north.
Okay.
What is the direction from the hay bales to the cows?
So if I answer the question incorrectly, you'll see what happens. From the hay bales to the cows, I'm going to say it's south.
Try again.
So you'll see that it's not a punitive map. It just gives the student the opportunity to try again. We also have beginner maps that give early learners a sense of place and a world around them. Of course, you can see here, we can start out with my bedroom. Let's go to my universe. And so here's a map showing my planet's called Earth, and we're with other planets in our solar system here. And of course, we have different types of neighborhoods, and we've got maps illustrating urban and rural neighborhoods. Here is a large farm map that you can take a look at, pretty simple map. And we can also see a pretty sophisticated urban and rural 45-degree angle bird's eye view. We've also got simplified maps of the Earth to help teach complex topics such as the equator, tropics, and poles. And let's take a quick look at a map showing the hemispheres. Even upper-level teachers will use these maps when reviewing because they're such basic and solid explanations of these topics. Our world maps contain basic physical and political maps of the world. Earlier we saw that National Geographic North America map. Here is the same map in the K-3 version, equally as informational at a simplified level. And then finally, if you're talking about regions, we've got some great maps showing different regions of the U.S. Let's take a look at the southeastern state. Here is my state and the other states in my region and where we're located in my country. So please check out the K-3 map section, and as well you can find those Spanish language maps K-3 here, as well as the Spanish language section. We're going to move on next to classroom resources, where I mentioned earlier we've got over 200 lessons and activities. It's a great place to find tools to develop and test your students' skills. We earlier accessed lesson plans by searching through Common Core or State Standard, but you can certainly open up classroom resources and go right into a lesson plan to search either by grade level, subject, or world region. I'm going to select grades 3 through 5 and just show you the list of the different lesson plans available for you on Maps 101. In addition to the different lesson plans, we offer you shorter classroom activities, and these are also organized by grade levels. I've chosen grade levels 3 through 5 for the classroom activities. And let's go ahead and take a look at an activity called Native American Cultures on the Map. Have your students examine the Native American Cultures AD 1500 map and find names of Native American cultures that are used today. How many can they find? What places are they familiar with that have been named for Native American cultures? So that's just one of the different activities available for you. We also have our geography skill builders, and these are over 70 geography-centric activities to help your students practice and reinforce their geography skills. And you can choose from U.S. or world geography. We're going to go ahead and choose U.S. geography. Both sections are arranged chronologically by themes. We start with American beginnings, go all the way down to nearing the century mark. We've been talking a little bit about the Civil War today in our training, and so here is a skill builder called the Economic Effects of the Civil War. So we have a reading passage, a graphic, and finally questions for the students to answer about the text and the visual. Please note you can also get the skill builder in Spanish. It's real easy. Again, click the Spanish version link, the text, the graphic, and the questions in Spanish, and we'll go back to the English language version. And finally, in classroom resources, let's take a look at our Understanding Geography activities. These are activities and lessons designed to support existing social studies curricula. You can choose from levels 3, 4, or 5. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look at level 5, number 7. It's called Resources and Trade. Learn about different types of natural resources and patterns of trade in colonial times. Click the PDF icon to open up a new tab. where you'll see we have lots of keywords, color, questions for the students to answer. We learn about resources and answer some questions. Then we learn about colonial trade routes, a triangle trade, answer some questions. And then finally, at the end of the lesson, we have review questions and an activity for independent study. And finally, I'd like to show you our Learn and Play section, our K through 12 educational games and quizzes. I'll let you explore most of this section on your own. Just wanted to point out some features that we have here. We do have some crosswords for Earth Month and Women's History Month that tie in nicely with our content collection. We have a game show where your host, Geo George, will ask you questions. You answer by clicking on a map. All of the answers to the game show are found in the Reference Atlas section. We have a couple of drag and drop games to reinforce locations of the states and state capital. So let's go ahead and drag the icon to Louisiana. If I answer correctly, I get lots of points. Here's Georgia. Is this Georgia? Nope, have to try again. So a great way to learn the states and the state capitals. Uncle Sam's Farm is a game aimed at the younger learner. Another game that's aimed at the younger learner is Aliens, and this is a fun game where we beam the alien to a location on the map. If the alien, if that's the right answer, the alien does a little dance. So let's send this alien to Africa. See if that works. There we go. Happy alien. If we get the wrong answer, we send the alien to, is this Australia? I don't know. Coordinates do not compute. Let's try again. And so Aliens is a fun game that's also compatible with the iPad and other tablets. We've got jigsaw puzzles, crosswords, and word searches of various degrees of difficulty. We have easy and advanced word search options for your students. Your students can become junior cartographers using our map kits. And finally, we have some Flash World quizzes that range from easy, the continents quiz, to super challenging, naming countries and different continents on a timed basis. So that's a little bit of an overview of our Learn and Play section. Now, I know we've covered a lot of material today in just a few minutes, and I promised I would show you a way that you can go back and learn more on your own. On the top row of buttons at the top right, click the Help button to access the Maps 101 User Guide. You can read Section 3 to go more in depth into the content areas we did not have time to cover in our presentation today. Also, in Section 1, you can refresh how to work with the map, how to navigate. Any troubleshooting information you might need is here in Section 6. So I hope that you have a solid understanding of the breadth and depth of instructional content that is available to you in Maps 101 and how easy it is to navigate the resource. We are here to help you get the most out of your Maps 101 subscription, so please don't hesitate to contact us at Maps 101 if we can be of assistance with any questions. Thank you again for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.